Jamaica reach a stage where we don't really love to see it.
No, man, I'm going to drive on the highway, the right around before me, you know. I mean, I have long. So, no, but I would have foolishness there. We are going to transform, we are going to do it. Amalo, let me ask you this. You casted a vote.
Yes, bro.
Amalo, you casted a vote for Andrew Holness and the Jamaica Labour Party.
Yes.
Do you trust Andrew Holness?
I trust. I don't want to trust nobody when it comes down to government, and I don't want to owe nobody when it comes down to government. I want laws and legislations and policy and enforcement. And those are the things that I put my trust in.
Do you trust Andrew Holness to put in those laws, legislation, and enforcement?
I trust him to do it, but I think he's moving too slow.
Well, he will get there. Andrew Holness is navigating a water. Andrew Holness Omalo is navigating a kind of world.
Chuck, me disagree with Omalo. When you have COVID, when you have Beryl, when you have Melissa, when you have this geopolitical environment, like, me disagree. That's
what I'm saying. Andrew is navigating a world.
When I have an eye debt for pay down, like, me disagree.
What is it that you're disagreeing with? What is it that you're disagreeing with? Disagreement is broad. What is it that you're disagreeing with?
You say my move too slow.
Yes. In terms of implement,
some things, a lot more things, a lot of things can get done, you know. But some things, I think we are giving basket for carry water. Some of it need to be done. Many more of it need to be done.
You said that one of the most important area in a nation's development is not to just commonly give the education that is normal, that feeds industries, but to elevate the education. And there are examples of these type of things that are happening inside of the world. And we must look to those to emulate what I am saying. The teachers' bill that supposed to take, reform certain things inside the teacher, inside how the children, the school system operate. It has been there for how many years, and I know it can't pass and be law. How can we say we are this is supposed to be the law of the land? The education system supposed to revamp and put in the space where it can serve Jamaican interests of development. We not at 2026 supposed to look every time overseas to bring people into Jamaica to do certain things, and those people then leave with the money. That is called capital flight. We're not benefiting from the money that we are making here in Jamaica. We have to correct these things. And the correction is a part of putting in the laws, enforce them, and make them work for the people of Jamaica. Just like we are doing when we comes on to the national security. We change the laws them, and we put in the infrastructure with the police work, and it is working. The same thing is needed for the education system.
And health. Look here, Lashika. Omalo has a point. Let me tell you why Omalo has a point, Lashika. The point of which, you see right now, the Labour Party have the people's confidence as a result of what they have seen from the security force. So right now, the Labour Party, the government now, need to show one or two more changes. The two changes where them need to show is health and education. They need to hold them by the hand. They bull them by the hand and pop them off. Because with that, then a lot of things will be coming. The Labour Party now has the people support, and the people have a high expectation to make the changes. I must say, I love what I see the Prime Minister, the presentation yesterday, and the outlook for Jamaica. But there are certain things within it, like I said, the health sector. Too much doctor have private business and take out people out of the hospital and work on them. We have to reduce that. and too much teacher have business within the business. And people must do a JD, a job description and an evaluation based on them performance. Digitization must come, Lashika. And what Omalo is saying about what need to get done and needs is a fact. Franny highlighted, all when me never see it, is a fact. He has a valid point. We need to take needs to the people. The people are expecting the government to run now, run through the tape. And I yield.
Let me say something.
Whatever plan the government had to run through the tape, Melissa just put her foot in a way.
One second. There is no country, just a minute. There is no country, and I want you all to name me one, that is a first world nation, that their education system doesn't reflect the type of world we are living in, the technological science and all of these type of things that are making economy grow. These are the areas of growth in economy.
Amaro, has the process of digitizing our school started?
The process of digitizing our school.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes, Chuck, and our hospital and all these things.
Is there such a thing in Jamaica as a fully digital school?
I really don't know if there's a digital school in Jamaica.
Digital, yes.
And when we are talking about digital school, what are we talking about? Are we talking about teaching the kids where we can look at nation where they are their primary school is advancing in robot technology because that is the era, automation and all of these things. That is what we are talking about when we are saying.
Let me answer this. How many times has West Indies College, it name shit, no, not change the name now. What's the name? What name again? What a university in Mandeville name? The Adventist University. What name?
Northern Caribbean.
Northern Caribbean. You used to name West Indies College. How many times have they won the international robotics competition?
No, Chuck. I know that you figure.
No. How many times have they won that competition?
A lot, but that I know what Omalo talk about. When you say you have to take it down to the primary level, Chuck. Primary, not this one. This one university level. Carry go at primary level.
Yeah, but
let me tell you what Omalo said. No, let me tell you what Omalo said. For digitization for Omalo, kids are supposed to be using tablets in school rather than book and pens. Kids supposed to start in understanding robotics from that.
Well, listen, this when you mentioned tablet in school.
Yeah.
2 years ago, Minister Dana Dixon gave a speech at I think it was at St. Andrew's graduation.
Right.
And she mentioned that the government had started to roll out to give students tablets and laptop in school.
Right.
The government had that plan. They were doing the pilot project. And you know what happened to those kids? There were men standing at the school gate, literally waiting to rob them.
Yeah, but Chuck, I know so it work. Chuck, I have been in this system. Not this America. Let me tell you something, Chuck.
No, Olympic. I don't want you brush your say under the carpet and say no so it work. You know what that means? That means that by giving these kids the tablet and the laptop, you are literally putting their lives in danger. So
yeah, but that's why I say no, Chuck.
So hold on. So guess what I have to do now? We have to fix the crime issue first.
No, but I'm still Chuck, and so it work. Let me tell you what we see America working. You said every time.
No, we're not talking about America. We're talking about
reference point. No, but it's a reference point, Chuck. Listen to the reference point. It's a reference point.
Tell me how America.
Let me tell you what I see them do. Them have tablets. You see the tablet where the picnic have a school, it not go their yard. So what the picnic, what them do is that them use the tablet in them class and them have charging port and them left the tablet at school.
And they left
in
it in
the
there.
class. Yes.
So you not believe that the same man them will rob the picnic at the gate. If they know that they left it at the classroom, they go broke down the classroom and go in the feet.
So these are
you saying that?
So these are the things that we are going to use not to develop our country.
No, I'm saying that the deterrent right now is the criminality, and the government is focusing everything on the criminality. And when you get rid of them, when the communities are safer, then we can introduce them something there.
No, Chuck. Let me add one more piece to it then. Chuck, you see, every school now in Jamaica should have camera right around the building and motion sensors. So you see when the principal come out, of the school and lock the school, that same network will hook up to the police station, you know. And you see if a man move in at the school, the police phone supposed to ring at the office of the police office, you know. And the police can call it the school and find out if a principal open the door and let in nobody know. If not, then go there.
All schools should be in Jamaica Eye. That's what you're saying. Yes. All schools. Okay, all right. Sound good. We are thinking over here. We are thinking over here. Good. Very good.
No,
yes.
It's not true.
All schools should be in Jamaica Eye, but we're not there yet.
But Chuck, we don't have to do 10 schools, you know. We need to start with one, do the next one, and do the next one. What I'm saying to you, there are schools, and every school
and that is why Penwood High School right now. Penwood High School is the one.
Right. So if it is that
we started with one.
Right. But what I'm saying, Chuck, you say the criminal act, certain things what we have to do, we have to stem it from the school. You see, from the mindset of these young students. You see, out at the front of the school gate to Chuck, there are some signs supposed to put out there for lightering. You see, lightering a school gate is a violation. It's supposed to land you in a prison, you know? Because we don't know if you're a pedophile, you know?
You see, the thing is, now, you see, my experience at Jamaica is this. Recently, the government rolled out a new road traffic act.
Right.
That says if you're gonna have a child in your car, you need a car seat and you need a seat belt. You remember what the people them say about the government when they did that?
Me enough people war over that.
Wicked.
Yeah,
they say the government wicked. They say the government
people war over that. Yep. Me lose friends because of that.
Yes, them say the government wicked. That's what them say, no? No, I am saying, I understand the changes we don't want to see, and I want them to, but me understand the water where Andrew navigate, and him have to do them slower.
Chuck, he man have the backing now. Him have to step up medium, no slow. We have to catch a medium now, man. No more slow. A third term winner, you know.
You see, I am for one.
Look here, the pearl fridge. Look here. You see the pearl fridge we're in a school with the whole heap of money where we are spend and we now get the result. There has to be, Chuck, some of these money divert into areas of security. Cameras.
Hold on. Give me a second. Somebody just write something in the comment.
So what?
Give me a second. Hold on. Let me clear it up. Durval and his foundation will be taking Andrew to court for saying a man is a man. Then, is it a man?
Chuck, you really stop with that, brother. And we have such a good conversation.
It's funny, but I feel laugh on the seat. Is it a man? Yeah, but as I say,
Bible tell you that.
As I say, I'm Olympic.
Yeah.
Me kind of understand the water. And I hear what? Maybe me know a little more, or because maybe it's because I have more confidence. But me know say no, for this year, there is gonna be a greater push in our sector.
Okay.
I know that it's just Beryl. It's just Melissa kind of book it to a little bit, you know.
Slow it down. Me agree, but we just say where we want to see, you know.
26. Yes, 2026 would have been a mega push year if it wasn't for Melissa.
Yes, but Melissa give it
But we
opportunity.
have to deal with Melissa. But Melissa to give us Melissa has given us $2 trillion to spend in the next 4 years.
Exactly.
Chuck, I believe, right, that there will be a lot of stepping up this time. I think the government is more confident now.
Yes.
What I also want the government to do. Me have my frustrations too, with the government. What I want the government to do, I believe, Chuck, I solely believe that this 2-day with Parliament are up in need to stop.
Yes.
People for their Parliament 5 days a week from 9 to 5. That's what we need to do.
Me not agree. But let me agree.
Let me tell you something.
Me not agree with that.
There is too much work in Jamaica to be done. Olympic.
But Lashika,
just allow me, please. Allow me, please.
Go ahead. Sorry.
There is too much work in Jamaica to be done for the Parliament to be open only 2 days a week. You have much committees. The Integrity Commission should have went done with long time, right? That need immediate fixing because we see where Beresford is now saying people to be charged. The Integrity Commission don't give Beresford no power for that, right? There is how much laws were upon a book where did they from 1880, 1920, 1936. Those things Olympic need to get done. The CM teachers bill need to get done. See JTA president come and tell Desmond McKenzie say him again 3 weeks to get people out of school. Parish council Olympic, whatever need to be done with the parish councils need to be done. Whatever need to get the public sector moving with stop waste people time need to get done. So those things need to happen for Jamaica move forward. As Omalo say, you get a 3rd term when I say come with the bulldozer, but make Parliament work. Be more effective with this term. The 2-day thing now go work. Me not believe in that. Maybe we can say 4 days a week and 1 day for the constituency and then take a weekend. Remember, say it's a job like everything else, Omar.
No. All right. This is the part where I agree.
A very well-paid job.
No. Let me tell you the part where I disagree with you with going to Parliament. Lashika, we have to digitize these things. So I agree with all of what you say.
That will be the new Parliament building will be digitized.
No, Chuck. There is Vietnam man. Let me tell you this is what I want to know.
Senate and the Congress. Look past Senate and Congress. Then
the thing they back. Lashika. Let me just say it too, clear now, please. We have to take Jamaica as a business. We, for the country, is 66 or 63-year-old, right? Which means in this world, we have to do heavy lifting because we are 30 years behind, okay? As such, we must use technology. No man, no figure go sit down, drive from Kings, from Westmoreland, go a town, we go have a meeting.
That's my point, though.
Man.
The point. I don't mean that necessarily to go sit in the Parliament. Things here get done.
Okay.
So Parliament. Much time they have
so we are saying Lashika. Good. So we have meetings online to trash out anything.
My problem.
And then you meet for 2 days.
Me want the Parliament to keep. Me want the people and do things. I call people come answer question where the government money there. What did happen with that? What made that? And take Andrew Holness out of the middle of things. Andrew Holness is being charged with too much things sometimes we're not supposed to get in the middle of. You know what happened? If these committees were being held and people were being summoned in front of these committees and these videos are out there every single day, people would understand. And
it's a heavy lifting, you know.
I agree.
We have to use the technology.
Just a minute. Let me say this. Just a minute. I want to hear.
Chubby wants something long time in there. Chubby.
Yeah, I agree with Lashika. I agree that Parliament basically 1 day a week for central government, 1 day for the Senate is not enough. And once a month for the councillors is not enough, and that's why we're not getting enough out of these people. That's why we don't say everybody they just go once a month and it's the usual. We're not seeing ideas coming out of municipal councils to uplift townships and to rectify some of the issues they have with garbage collection and how these towns are being run. Once a week for central government and once a month for local government is not enough.
Let me put a question to you guys that I wanted to ask from the other day, but I wanted the right answer. But since we're having this kind of discussion, maybe I can ask her. Do you think members of parliament should go out, and I mean out in corporate Jamaica, in corporate Caribbean, in corporate United States, and look investments for their constituency, rather than sit down and wait for government money? Should they not charge going out and look in investment for their constituency?
Not exactly charged with where you bound them and say them have to do this. But if they're being resourceful, if they're being, proactive with regards to the work of the people and not just going through the motions for the sake of going through the motion, you show up a parliament and you don't have to say nothing. You won't get the opportunity to say nothing. You just show up because you're required to show up, or you need to go knock in this or go support the spokesperson for your party, and nothing is done. It's not enough. Sheikha said something that is quite imperative, and I think it went over our heads, and I don't mean that in a rude way. I'm just saying we need to spend more time to look into it. There are laws on the books that are absolutely outdated and gone. These laws don't make no sense anymore. They are not useful to us. Right?
You can't watch the rug after 6 o'clock.
Exactly.
Like seriously?
Amend these things and fix these things and let us move the country forward. 1 day a week is not enough to do all the things that need to be done. Look how long it has taken to get the Parliament building and government square. This is the people's business. This is the business house. Look how long this has taken. The plan has been selected and the design selected and the architectural design
when are they going
selected.
To start it, Trevi?
When it'll take forever, it'll take forever. No. Look what the Prime Minister had to do. Hold on, Philippian, hold on, let me finish. Look what the Prime Minister had to do. Had to come and institute NARA to get some of the projects off the ground. The people who are going to work are served in NARA. This is basically more public sector hiring, because guess what? And if we were listening to the PM attentively, he spoke about the danger that public sector salaries pose to the size of our GDP. But yet we have to establish NARA and all these new entities to get things done, which is equal to more hiring and more salaries required, or probably bigger salaries sometimes.
Travi, while I have all NWA, Travi, with how much engineer and them something there. We need more. I don't think so.
But them land, what the Prime Minister trying is to get out of the bureaucracy.
Addressing question.
It's not working.
Oh, yes, Omar, I want you to address the question.
I want you to just say my piece and go, because I'm going home. Yeah. May I, Marlo?
Are you coming home? All right, I'm waiting. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm coming home. Yeah, so I'm just saying that the MPs are supposed to be advocates for their constituents, whether they're lobbying government or private sector, international partners. They should go out the way and seek help for their constituents. I don't see why they're complaining. There are persons like Rhoda and many other MPs who lobby private people, companies, and all of these entities. So why some of them, these NGOs? So why over there so they can't do?
Let me give you one.
I recall that I recall that the MPs did they did a course in social work as well. They're like social workers, right? They're supposed to be serving the people of their constituency. Yeah, all right then. I'm going home now. Bye.
You're coming. Don't say you're going home. You're coming.
Chuck. The police system. Oh.
Chuck.
Yeah, listen to you.
Type of MP that you are talking about is one that would participate in knowing that their constituency is they're helping in the process of fighting crime. Politicians don't do that in Jamaica. He would participate in
Mano, we lose you. But no, the kind of MP I'm talking about.
Just a minute. So when you have a MP concerns about his constituency like this, then that MP could go out and say, I am selling truck, my constituency, to bring his business here because of the safety, because of the education level, because of what is going on within my area. But we don't have politicians like that. So we just a politician, we just go through the motion and I go to parliament and serve them party. A party them
I disagree with that.
We do have politicians like that, you know. Because I can give you a couple of examples of politicians that operate in that way.
It may not be all of them or the majority or how we'd like to see it.
Okay,
but I disagree. I disagree with that we don't have them. We do have them.
Let me give you, Shika, let me give him a couple of examples of politicians that I know operate like that. We can give you Eli, we can give you Rhoda, Anne-Marie Vaz was one of those. I'm missing one. Juliet Wellness is one of those.
And Juliet Wellness
is one of those.
Cuthbert Flynn
too. And how do I know? These are the people. All right. Eli wanted to build a basic school. You know what he did? Him go to Digicel. Want to build a basic school, it will cost me 10 million. How much you can give me out of it? Me give you 2. All right, no problem. I have 2 there, so. Then we will go over to Lasco. Because all of them people, them have them little thing with them using. We are going to build a basic school and it costs 10. How much you can give me 2? As you go and you get small commitment. And then you use that build a school. Right? But you have a next man who want to build a school, but he might wait for government to give him the tax dollars.
We have 63 MP, Chuck. We have 63 MP. Could you name 1/3 of the MP that do the things that I just recommend?
Marlo, let me tell you something. And I think that's a challenge we're having. When my party not in a power, I do nothing to help the people them. And that is one of the biggest challenge we're having. When we are seeing it now with the PNP MPs, especially down at East Portland. The man say, "Oh, when are you going to give me some?" What I'm saying, I have to feed the people them because they no work down at East Portland. You must make sure government will give them resources. He say, "Oh, you're gonna buy the land and then prepare accommodation for them." Like, come on.
Let me ask you something, Lashika. You think we can pass law here in Jamaica where we hold politicians accountable to the people?
The people supposed to hold the politician accountable. That is the problem. But the people them
politician accountable to the people.
I think what I want for my people to do in Jamaica is to start holding the politicians accountable. Don't go back to Angela Brownberg shouldn't see back that the seat there, none at all. Right? Anthony Hilton, please wait. Anthony Hilton shouldn't see back the system, you know, the provision is there, you know. It's just that people not utilizing it. Those people need to take their future in their hand.
Oh, without like wishful thinking.
No, sir. The Constitution say if they don't work for you, you have to vote them out. The Constitution was very clear when it comes on to the MP.
What the Constitution said, that all the politicians are accountable to the people in their constituency. Because if the politician...
the people is the greatest.
I'm just going to say this. If any politician or any government official, this violates the Constitution of Jamaica. The Governor General of Jamaica have the right to withhold their pension. So tell me what obligation they are in law that state they are to serve their constituency.
I don't know, but their constituency have the opportunity to make sure that they serve them. Their constituency.
I feel we are trying to build Jamaica. The whole of we are trying to build. All our voices are
no, all we not try build, all we not try build Jamaica. Some of we are try build with party, and that's why Westmoreland was able to return the PNP down there. That is it.
When we are reasoning here. We are trying to build Jamaica. We're not worried about nobody else. We are trying to bring reasoning to a level where when we reason, some people can hear without their government officials that pass through these and know that there are thinkers in this country and we have to step up our level. Me like to be challenged. Without challenge, maybe sometimes you see we wouldn't have a Usain Bolt without the challenges throughout his ears.
Did you know that Usain Bolt was my schoolmate? Did you know that? And my good friend as well. Did I tell you that? Did I tell you that Usain Bolt is my good friend and my schoolmate?
Usain Bolt, I know, you know, come take credit to nobody, where nobody can. Put up one picture. Put up a picture.
All right, I'm going to send you a picture with me and Usain. Don't worry. Remember, send me a number.
Yeah, put it up.
Chika, no, we're not doing that. Chika, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. I strongly stand against you sending a picture to Omalo to prove what you to try and prove what.
Okay.
We don't know you as a liar. We don't know you as somebody who just come and make up stuff. Okay. I have enough confidence in you as a friend and a sister. So when you tell me something, I trust what you say.
Okay.
And I will not entertain the type of friendship that I have to go take out my heart and show them, or maybe I have to go show them the wound in my side because a Judas my friend. Me don't have no Judas as friends.
Yes, Lashika. That is Travis, and Travis is very good friend with you. You send me the picture.
Because it's me and me and you very good friends, close friends, like family, I'm saying we are not sending any picture to Omalo. Yes.
Me ask the picture from a woman. Send me the picture. My friend Chabi, you know what Chabi,
may I hear him. Go ahead.
Love in a space where you see every time if you're not in a certain space, there are certain people that if they're not in the space, I don't join it. And I could, you know, quite a bit of people, you know, I would join. Joshua is one of them. Travis, Lashika. These are people where I don't want nobody agree with me, but I want people challenge me in ways where, you know, I have to be challenging my own self. I love it. Yeah, and we can do this, and we can.
Much respect, Kamalo, man, and I appreciate the reasoning. I appreciate the wealth of knowledge when we gather to have a conversation. I appreciate the challenge also. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. You see, we are not. I'm not creating nothing new, and nothing that I'm saying is new. We are looking around the world where we can emulate things. Because there is a book, Travi, I'm going to tell you about this book. I think you should read it. Kicking Away the Ladder. I don't have the author's name, yeah. And next one, the Economic Hitman. Read those two books, and you're going to get a perspective of really.
Somebody sent me that book. If you read it, Omalo, the Economic Hitman. Somebody sent me that book that I must read it.
Yes. It gives you a view, because you have to understand geopolitics in to understand local politics. Because if you don't understand what politics is
about. I'm going to in my library and see if I can get the Economic Hitman. I'm going to try to see if I can find it online and read it.
But the economic hitman theory is that, no, not the economic, the kicking away the ladder is that they're telling you that the Europeans and the Americans use what they use to get where they're at. They kick away the ladder and try to give like third world developing nations something else where it's going to keep them in perpetual trying to come out of the situation that they are in. Yeah, and that is why we must look at countries that have developed and try to emulate what it is, because it's emulation. What China is doing is not what America was doing in its early days. It's now different from what because America adapted the Industrial Revolution from England. No, China is doing the same thing.
So Omalo, for kicking away the ladder, I see 3 different versions just now. Is it Hangzhou Chang? Is that the author that you're referring to? Because his own appear at the top, and there's 2 other below it. I didn't hear you. Kicking away the ladder. I see 3 different versions of the 3 different books with that same title.
Give me the author.
Hangzhou Chang was one of them. Hangzhou Chang.
Why them phone go pause? Fukurama. I think a Fukurama I'm naming.
Frederick Arnie or something like that. And one of them is Hangzhou Chang. He wrote 2 different books with the same title. Kicking away the ladder.
Do you see one that name? I think his name is Fukurama or something like that.
Name what?
I think it's a Japanese name, Fukurama, something like that.
All right, let's see one one Asian looking name, Hangzhou or something like
that. He's an Asian that's right, kicking away the ladder.
Right. I'll let you know.
I'm going to send it to Lashika and have Lashika send it to you.
It says kicking away the ladder. Development strategy through historical perspective. Development strategy through historical perspective.
Probably you keep cutting out and coming.
Yeah, man. Get a call and then the audio kind of sound away from my end. It's Hangzhou Chan. It says development strategy through historical perspective. Kicking away the ladder.
That's it, probably.
All right, so that's that one there. You just say the other one here? Hitman, economic hitman, is that what you said?
Yeah, economic hitman.
All right. I'll look for it, man. I'll let you know.
And the perspective of what, how things operate. We are not here talking nothing that we are trying to invent. Emulation is the key. I asked a question, Travis. I asked this question, Travis. And I said, if Singapore started in the 60s like Jamaica, right? And we had a government that was growing our economy. Just like Singapore had a government that was developing Singapore at the time. What if 1972, Lee Kuan Yew lost the election and get someone like a Michael Manley? Would Singapore be the same as it is today? Travi,
their work look like. So, but
Lashika,
Definitely not. I also want to add to what you said that Singapore started poorer and even more undeveloped, or even worse when it came on to development than Jamaica. And now they're miles and decades and far ahead.
I say that, Travis, to say this, is that what I say, when I say that to say this, we must look in terms of the destruction that Michael Manley, the People's National Party, have caused us. Because if Singapore had have a Michael Manley, yeah, with the same record that Michael Manley have in Jamaica, Singapore wouldn't be it. So just imagine Jamaica not having that destructive period in their life where we would have been. And PNP must look at that and take that as something that really and truly, there is no way Jamaica should be in this position without the party I support. It's the party that I support has caused me this pain.
And I believe the PNP should not be re-elected until they learn to take accountability, because if you notice, they will not take accountability for their failings and bad policies, and because they don't take accountability for it, we are under the threat of them doing the same extremes, going the same extremes to do whatever they want to do and pursue an ideology that does not work. They are not taking accountability, and that's one of my biggest issues with the PNP. Because it's not that we hate the people or they're being alienated from Jamaica. They are Jamaicans, but the policy positions that you hold true to has not worked for us, and it will never work, especially on the foreign policy.
Based on the lack of taking responsibility, and we must never think that if someone don't take responsibility for their action, they can repent. We have seen that their utterance based on the Cuban issue right at this moment, so they have learned nothing from the past and bound to make the same mistake. And Jamaicans must always have this in mind when they think about anything, the development of Jamaica.
I agree, Omalo, because even yesterday when the Prime Minister was talking about Michael Manley, you know, so them a talk, them a go on, them a carry on. Them a go on yesterday. Like, come on, take some accountability, man.
Yes, so you know, we are. I'm saying we are in a good. And Jamaican owners was taught by the great Edward Seago, and I know he has that vision of wanting to see Jamaica, because you know what I'm saying? I'm fulfilling the vision of Edward Seago in art, yeah? Because he knew the vision Edward Seago, he was right there, yeah? So what I am saying is that as long as we are giving you mandates, we are not giving you mandates to worry about the teachers union. We are giving a mandate to come make the change where it can benefit the kids them. That means the kids them that are leaving high school, when they encounter that benefit that they will be getting, those are the ones that are going to vote for you, not the teachers. And the teachers union are going to see the benefit later on. Some of them are so ignorant that they cannot see immediate. They want everything immediate rather than a gratification over a period of time.
We have the promise, but even the promised instant gratification that the PNP usually offers never comes. It never came, Manley. Look at where Jamaica was at and tell the people them say, oh, I see one of them, but better must come. He promised them better and he never delivered on better. And they still hold true to that slang asking. How many times a year they use and they repeat that? Because I wasn't around and I learned and heard of that phrase because of them. I never experienced it, but when I look at his track record and look through history, he never delivered on the better that he promised. The better must come that was promised never came. We actually, in reality, got worse. Because in 1972, we had over 100 million in our NRI, right? When we get to 1974, Jamaica became indebted for the first time.
There was never no. And this is a question, Chavi, I want people to continue asking. If Singapore had a Michael Manley, 1972 in Singapore to 1980, would Singapore be the country it is today? It's a very profound question. They must answer it. And you will understand why Jamaica is in the position that they are in. Economic policies as long-term consequences. People don't understand that. Economic policies have long-term consequences. And that is why you could hear Andrew Owen say, after 30 years, we get back to where? To debt to GDP. Yeah? After 30 years, we get back to that level. So that imagine how many kids, yeah, how many young people we have lost through that journey. How many brain, how many development, yeah, the stagnation.
Funkos, Focus, if you don't know your past, you're bound to make the same mistakes you make in this near and dear future of yours. You have to know your past, right? When you don't know your past or your history, you're like a tree without roots. And those aren't my words. I'm a good friend of yours and mine, you know, a national hero of this country, Jamaica, which we love. But I interrupt you to say this to you, Focus. I think we need to focus on talking about policy positions. I think even the youngest of PNP feel attacked when we put Manley in the front of it. Yes, he's the one who did it. And his name must be called and it must be recorded that he is the one that did this. But I want us to limit the policy position and the fact that it is bad. Because you said something just now that the economic policy must be, you know, for the benefit of the country. But I'll tell you this. Foreign policy is also a dangerous one. You might have good economic policy, but your foreign policy is not good. And especially in this dispensation of time, if you're not careful in this global political arena, just saying something, just taking a policy position can cripple you. Let me put it that way, can cripple your economy, cripple your nation because of who and what we're dealing with.
You see, I'm not going to lie. I just say we are in good hands and we must keep challenging power so that power can get better. That is just my theory and things. I don't want us to just say, okay, I heard this and this is what and this is good. No, I want you to challenge it. Challenge its implementation. Don't just listen and hear things and not challenge its implementation. How it's going to put into the things. Yes, sir.
Hello, Sheikah. I want the long-term restriction now. So I go end before they ban me. I survive to the time one now, I on the long-term one, so I go end before they ban me.
Okay.
So, tomorrow do it again, same time.